All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm joined again with DJ Oracle, and this is ManeCity Radio podcast number 9. We're just going to cover a short little topic here. I mean, since everybody's quite excited about the Fracture Fate Land collection that's coming out. Um, so, thank you, DJ Oracle, for joining me. I know we're both fairly busy at this point, so it's good that we were able to find, and we'll try to keep this maybe to a half hour. But yeah, thank you for joining me. You want to give a little intro?
Yes, shout out to everybody who's definitely been waiting for the next episode. Here it is. Yeah, like you said, we're both kind of like caught up lately. So I'm glad that we did find the time to talk Main City, which is always exciting. And then with this new lands, it's a great time to make this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I know we don't have all the information quite yet, so this is maybe a little bit too soon to really get into some of the specifics of how the lands are going to work. But I think this is going to be a good little intro for us to just get into talking about this new collection. Some of our thoughts, as well as maybe some speculation on what the guilds and the monster battles and stuff are going to be like. So I guess to maybe start it off, I'll flip over and we can take a quick look here at the actual product announcement that Crypto.com had put out. So we'll just let the graphic here play in the background while we sort of talk about it. But it's some exciting stuff if you ask me. The Fractured Fate NFT collection. Maybe do you want to start off with any of the bad things first, if you want to bring up any items? I know the big thing for myself is the dilution and likely the dropping of the first frontier floor price, which doesn't make anybody feel good when you see your NFTs get diluted. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's true, especially because we're still speculating the way the new lands are gonna be used. So for now, it just feels like a replacement, or it feels a little bit like, okay, here's the new thing now, and everything else, it's gonna kind of like be put in the background. But I'm hoping that it's kind of just like they said that there's gonna be a business combo kind of thing, or a pairing of businesses. Hopefully it'll be like that. Like you have to have a certain land to be able to take full advantage of the new land. So if we're able to still use the first line, if they make it to where you need to have like a first frontier in order to take full benefits of the uh, fate fracture fate. I'm sorry, land. Then that would be pretty good because then it would make other people have to buy the first frontier land. Kind of like how the monks. So you need to have a monk to be able to use the skin. So even though they bring up the skin, you still have to go back and get a monk. So hopefully it'll be kind of like the same thing with the lands, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I that's what I'm sort of hoping, or even maybe if you don't need to own one, I'd kind of like to see the first frontiers set up as more of a premium, like what the better collection still, right? Like I had this thought the other day. Maybe what they'll do is, because the mobs and these monsters are going to be a big part of the Fractured Fate series, right? And this whole new expansion, the world expansion. So maybe they only tied the monsters to the Fractured Fate lands, and then our first frontier lands are sort of like sanctuary lands. And if you're building, and I know some people think it's just going to add diamonds, so we don't know whether we're going to be able to place buildings on these plots or not, or if it's just going to be an increase of diamond production. Which that could also, if that's the case, and you can only build on the first frontier lands, then that's going to be a massive use case specifically for them. But if the other lands can be built on, right, maybe they get attacked by monsters occasionally, and makes it a requirement to have defenses and stuff like that up all the time if you're building in these fractured fates lands, these other regions. Whereas if you're on a first frontier land, then maybe it's like a sanctuary city and you don't have to worry. There's never going to be monsters that attack or anything like that. You have to actually venture out to find the monsters.
Yeah, that's also a great idea. If the new lands are just for like missions and the things coming up, but the main lands are your main, yeah, placement for businesses. That's actually, I hope it's kind of like that. Um, and the new ones is just kind of like having more of a graphics, for the different regions of the world kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You never know though, right? Especially because the land is being airdrop or minted, sorry, specifically to help onboard the next, I guess, wave of new players coming in. So that's the only thing that kind of makes me believe that you can build on it. Because if they're going to release a bunch of new lands and you can't actually build a city on them, then it sort of defeats the purpose of releasing more lands, for onboarding more players to start building cities.
Also, if let's say that the new lands don't produce diamonds, let's say it's just like a map for us to like venture on, but they don't produce any diamonds, that would also keep the value of the first frontier lands, right? I
It
would
would,
think.
but they are producing diamonds. It says inside the
Oh
product
yeah.
page, so that'll be one of the facets. Maybe I'll swap back over to that because they do say here in-game benefits. So additional diamond production. Number two is the world map for city, ManeCity, and then number three is the guild creation and expeditions, which will be coming in the second half of the year.
Okay, okay. So yeah, thank you for clearing that up. Uh, well, again, diamonds are always king, so I'm happy about more diamonds too. So yeah, it also makes sense to bring more diamonds with the new lands. World expansion, huh? And guilds. Oh man, just exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean the diamond production is like the least exciting thing, right? For this whole land drop, the monsters, these world map that they're going to be building. I mean, even the way I'm really excited just to see the way that they do lay this world map out. With the 22 different regions that they've got now, I think it's going to be quite the interesting development for sure.
Yeah, and it's just gonna make for more things to talk about, more podcasts, more YouTube videos, more content. I know that Discord is on fire, so if you're not on the Discord, we'll put the links on the description. Make sure you go ahead and join the Discord because that's where the excitement happens. Also the X Spaces, that's also a very exciting place to join. But yeah, definitely join us in the Discord. Again, if you like the content, make sure you like the video right now.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with your family and friends. And, we love ManeCity just like you love ManeCity.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think like you said, right? This is going to be some exciting times, and I'm looking forward to having a lot more activities that we can do in game. And I really hope that you brought up X Spaces, and it's been a really good tool for helping out newer players. They can hop into the spaces, come up and ask questions. So it's been really good, and I'm hoping that what we see is possibly these expeditions being more of a cooperative mode that we could, all group up and be like, okay, everybody in this X space, we could like form a raiding party or something and go out and do a quest, right? Um, as to whether it's going to be like real time questing or is it going to be like you're deploying your guy and he comes back later on. I'm leaning more towards I hope that we will be doing some more interactive uh, battles and whatnot with the monsters and the mobs, as well as maybe exploring, so you can actually get out and it might be like an open world and we can actually walk around and go and find unique areas and all sorts of stuff, right? But again, yeah, it's all speculation at this point. Nobody really knows any of what's going to happen. We don't even know the drop date or the price, right?
Yeah, that's another good thing to bring up. What the price would be. I was thinking maybe like $50. I think that's how much the first one was, right? $50, the first mint.
It was actually 79 for the public sale if you didn't, like if you just minted one land deed. but I know they had a loaded lions like discount. So if you owned a loaded lion, you got into like the pre-sale, and I believe there was a what did they call it? The Tycoon Deed Pack or something like that, and it was five, I believe five for 250. So that was how, yeah, it was like almost $50 for a lot of the, people that did have loaded lions. But for the general public, if you didn't have a loaded lion and you were just minting in the public mint, it was almost $80. And I got a Dune, so that was my most expensive Dune.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I got nothing but dunes, and yeah, definitely. Most of my dunes, I got them on the second market. Um, so we'll see how it goes. Also, there's most of the projects that they're partnering with. They're saying that they're gonna have like early access, right? Like the monsters, the monks. If you're part of those projects, you'll get early access.
Yep, yeah. So they're all going to also have an allow list. Now I don't know if they're still gonna do like a pre-sale just for loaded lions and dark lions, right? Maybe they'll do that and have a certain amount, and then they'll have like a secondary stage, kind of like what they did with the dark lions, where the loaded lions got first access. Then it was like the cyber cubs, right? They would have some access to it. So they might do something along those lines, right? Like lions, so cubs, dark lions, and loaded lions would get primary access for like a cheaper first mint, and then the allow list comes in. I saw Synthtopia, they're going to have 50 allow list positions as well. I mean, there's some speculation they're going to be one of the next factions into ManeCity. Or, sorry, not factions, one of the next partnerships to join the Legion faction. But they're also, I don't know if you noticed on the allow list that Wolf Swap was listed too.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was wondering how, like, what do you have to do to be? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the difference is between the allow list and like early access.
Yeah, I don't
Is it
know
the same
either.
thing?
I think the allow list is maybe allowing to early access, but I'm still wondering if they'll have like an even earlier access for Lions, and then everybody else that's part of the game gets in, and then they'll have their public sale.
Yeah, it's definitely creating a lot of buzz in X with all the projects. So it's exciting times because it's also bringing more attention to the game. We're getting a lot of new players. More people are jumping on spaces and asking questions. Some new players are getting guided to our channels, which is again, thank you for the community for always appreciating what we do. It motivates us to keep making content, and
Most
we
definitely.
just want to give all the information. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I've noticed too, even the market. I know you don't have as much time to be able to check it, but like even blueprints now, right? They're selling for over 5K every day, like all the time. The floor price on businesses is like 3K right now. It's been going crazy. Lots of buzz.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like in between because yeah, I don't have a lot of times. I can only pretty much almost check my main city kind of like once a day. And so I try to like snipe anything that I can. Like right now, there's a blueprint going for 2 crore. They started it at 1 crore, 1K vouchers. So I put a bid for three, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna. The next one is 550. So I try to get as many under five that I can, and then I've sold a few at like 9 or 10. Well, and actually, some of the ones that I bought like at 2K, I sold them for like six. But now, I like with the cut that they get, the 15%. I don't want to like just sell. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, everything is it's going up in the market.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of good stuff going on. I mean, a lot of people probably prepping for the mobile expansion, and even just the guilds. Who knows? Maybe these lands will allow us to build on them, but you still have your first frontier lands as your primary city, and you're building maybe more of an outpost. So we're going to need a lot more businesses. Who knows? Because at that point, I guess I've sort of stopped merging until I see how all this pans out. Just because, like, if I merge and lose a bunch of businesses, and then I don't have enough to play the rest of this new expansion, so I'm just sort of holding off until we get some more information.
No, yeah, that's a good idea because yeah, I've been like merging and like now I'm like I have to like get these businesses by them, and it's again all the prices are getting a little more expensive, so I'm not doing a lot of merging either anymore. I'm just trying to snipe them like at quality 2 or 3, and then I'll try to merge those. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, especially, I mean, it's exciting times with the new lands, especially the fighting monsters. Like you were saying, hopefully it'll be to where you go to the land and you actually fight against like a computer generated monsters. I hope it's not like, against each other kind of thing or a new mint. No, it should be more like, because I think they also said, right? Like one of the parts in the updates is to have like just characters in the game, like different characters.
Yeah, there's eventually going to be like AI models for each of us. So I'm wondering too if they've already got the actual NPC model formed, and that's what we're going to use, right? So you could have your loaded lion or your dark lion, or maybe one of your monks or the crazy monsters, right? And that's actually the PFP or avatar that you would be walking around with in the game. Or I know I believe Papa brought it out as maybe his unofficial official prediction on what he thinks the game's going to be like, and he's sort of leaning towards maybe a cooperative team builder in the sense that like, but it's also turn based. I'm almost thinking kind of like the Axie Infinity game, and I know there was a few other clones like that, but it's sort of like a battle type game like that you would just build your team. You go in and then they just do their attacks, and it's all turn based. So that's one route it might go. I mean, I wouldn't be as excited. I would still play it for sure, and definitely enjoy it. I would think, but I just don't know if I would enjoy it as much as like a more MMORPG like styled game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, everything's speculation, and they always are just when we think that things are like, oh, the devs, or we complain, kind of this and that. They tweak it right, or they just sometimes they even like go above our expectations. And I was listening to a recorded space by Dojo, and Crypto Dojo, I think is his full name. And Big was like talking about that, how from the beginning to now, because somebody's like, oh yeah, they're saying that there's been a big change from when the game started. And Big was like, yeah, they've definitely done changes where they go too much to one side or too much to the other, but the community let them know, and then they make adjustments.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. They, like you said, they do fairly well at listening to what the community feedback is and sort of adjusting their concepts to it. But then again, like I'm blown out of the water. Like I didn't see this coming. For the act, like I thought maybe okay there would be a land expansion and the game sort of stays the way it is. Maybe they'd be doing more stuff with like the businesses, making that out. But with them creating this world map that they're going to release and use these fractured fate lands, and then all these different rarity tiers and all that type of stuff, like I just hope I mint myself a primordial. I want to see what these look like. you know
Yeah, and speaking of, I guess it's if you have I'm not sure if you have it up, the different type of lands that they're gonna have, because it's kind of like I think it's kind of like matching a dune with a dune, and aurora with aurora, and then they have two extra ones, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they have the regions, right? So there's the five main regions, which is which corresponds to the first frontier lands, and then they also go through rarities as well. Um, so yeah, they're releasing 22 new ones. So in total, we'll have like 27 lands, right? Since we have the original five. But yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. I'm interested to see what these mythical styled like Crimson Dune or like the Crimson Reaches mythicals will be, and just how all of that's going to interact, right? Like even how they're going to get incorporated into our city, right? Is it going to be like it's all that speculation of like, are we going to be able to build on them? Is there going to be any of that component to it, or are they just strictly there to give us access to go and explore the world and boost our diamond production? So yeah, some exciting times, but hopefully, well, I mean, even with like, it'll be cool too if we are able to build on them because there's like the Nexus blockchain and the Molten Forge, right? So everybody can have like a blockchain and a Molten Cavern, but they would just be the starter versions of it, right? So people could still build on them and have like a pretty cool, looking city background, but it wouldn't be producing as much diamonds as a true blockchain or a true molten cavern.
Yeah, yeah, that would be good. And I really hope, yeah, that we get lucky with this mint. Because, man, I suck at getting good things and mythicals and all that. When I mint, I have to end up buying stuff. But, I think the good juju is going to be on our side this time.
Yeah, fingers crossed, right? That's all you can do. So we'll see what happens, and I gotta probably convince my mom to mint for me as well. I mean, she plays, so she'll use some of the lands, but well, I gotta see what happens, right?
Yeah, we should hit up Crypto.com and let them know that they need to give us a land for every episode we've done on the podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, can you just airdrop us some? But speaking of that, so this
Right?
is a mint, right? And the sales, they do say sales supply. So I'm really wondering if they're planning on airdropping some to like either loaded lion holders. I really wish it was going to be an expansion of 50,000 lands, right? So then we would be at the 75,000 of the full 100,000 they plan to release. And it would be nice if they would airdrop the 25,000 of the Fractured Fate lands to existing First Frontier holders, and then the other 25,000 are for sale. But unfortunately, there's no information surrounding that. There was a tweet though that I believe it was the Loaded Lions team put out with a lion sort of looking up in the air, and that looked quite a bit like he was looking at like maybe an airdrop coming in. So fingers crossed that even
Yes.
even if it's not the land holders, it'd be nice to see Loaded Lions maybe getting an airdrop. But who knows what it's really going to be about.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great if it would be to landholders because we're already playing, we're already into it. But also the good thing about if it's dropped to loaded lions, because there's a lot of loaded lions that are not playing at the moment. So if they get a land airdropped, they'll might pull them into the game. So that would be another good option for the game if they get dropped to loaded lion holders. It would most likely attract new players to the game.
Yeah, definitely would. Especially now that it's not going to be just a city builder. There's going to be monsters and exploration and stuff like that. I could see the some people that maybe sat on the sidelines, and I know there's also a lot that are like, well, I'll jump in when it goes mobile, right? So once that does come out and it does become more of a mobile game, people are able to play it as on the go, right? Backpacks might become a little less important, unless they get integrated into some sort of exploration model as well. But, you know, doing some sort of airdrop like that to loaded lions, that could bring a lot of people that are, like you said, sitting on the sidelines, into the game to try it out.
Yeah, and I've also heard in this spaces what you said about many players. I'm sorry, many loaded lions waiting for it to go mobile because they're like, well, I don't have time to be in the computer and like I got other things going on. But they're like, but if it's mobile, we all know how addicted we can get to our mobile devices.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I think, once we do see it go mobile, right now we are the testers, right? We're testing the game. So even once the exploration and everything comes out, like I imagine there's still going to be a couple months before mobile gets released once they have all that like the actual new exploration and boss battles or raids or whatever it is. Like they're going to need us to test it prior to going mobile, right? So as to how long that's going to be, but I mean, we're going to have the first taker's advantage here, being in the game for as long as we have been, and then even just out doing the exploration. Who knows what type of resources we need to gather, but hopefully we'll have been set up fairly well from playing so early in the game that, you know, maybe that's going to be a good avenue for us to, maybe it's selling weapons or resources or something like that to newer players coming in. But I know I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't wait for the new updates just to try things out. I mean, every time there's a new update in the game, it's like if it's Christmas all over again for everybody, for most people I know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this is a significant update, right? And that's the only reason too for myself that like it really justifies a land drop. You know, it takes a lot of money to build a game. So, you know, this game that they're building needs some sort of funds from somewhere. So they need to recoup some of the funds by selling more lands. And they do make it apparent that there's only going to be 100,000 plots ever for ManeCity. Hopefully that holds true. So, you know, 25,000 of them have already been minted and well used throughout the game. And now we've got the other 25,000. So we're not even at, you know, we'll be just at 50% of the total plots available for the game at the end of this land mint. So still lots more room for ManeCity to grow. And I think they've got a lot of ambition when it comes to what they want to build. So, you know, I'm here for the long term. We'll see what it forms up to be.
Yeah, yeah, definitely here for the long term. And I think you brought up a very important point that a lot of times we don't see as players and as holders, and we just want them to give, and we just want to take. But we got to realize, like you said, that it costs money to do these things. It costs money to to pay developers, and just to keep things running, just keep the lights on. So yeah, that's a good thing that you bring it up because that way we can all as players realize that fair is fair. And you know, I mean, if you get one of those good lands, the blockchains are still going for like almost 2 Gs, probably, right?
I think they're still probably around 4. I don't think they've really dropped too much.
Ooh, imagine. So you buy, like you said, let's say it's, you know, $75 a mint or 90, whatever it is. You get one of those, you know, there goes your a good investment. It's up to you whether you want to use it or sell it. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's crypto also, right? Crypto is about opportunities. There's always new opportunities in crypto, and as much as I try to explain to people around here what everything's all about, people lose the interest right away. Um, so it's good, like you were saying. Also, it's the advantage of us being the testers of the game, being early, being able to already implement whatever gets implemented is going to be easier for us to adapt since we're already pretty familiar with what's going on right now. We get so familiar to the gameplay that we're literally like excited for new things because like we need to keep like working on strategies and doing this and doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm curious to see too how these new lands and this new mode are going to play into competition mode, or if it's just going to be strictly a normal mode activity and competition is basically the same as it always is. You know, just build a city. But I'm definitely excited to see what these primordial lands do. They're going to be worth, like, if blockchains stay at 4 grand, I'd say these are got to at least be 5 plus, right?
Wow. Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yes. Man, now this is where I need to do all my rituals for luck.
Yes, there you go. Get a lucky rabbit foot, you know, find yourself a horseshoe, whatever you need.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's just hope. You know, because I think one kind of looks like, and I call it almost like hell, right? It looks like hell, and one's like heaven. So, you know, there's probably a lot more monsters down at the one, and then I wonder how the other primordial land's gonna. Maybe they have like friendly monsters. I don't know.
And what does it say? Kind of like to give a little bit more info on what the difference is between the primordial and like the other ones.
Yeah, sure. I can switch back over to the so like the first frontier lands, right? Or sorry, the mythical of the like all the mythicals, they make up about 1% of the lands, whereas the primordials make up 0.8%, right? So there's going to be 0.4% for the one secret region, which kind of looks like hell, and then there's the second secret region that kind of looks like more of like a heaven. Actually, you know what? I'll see if I can switch over to the X post and see if I can find the pictures of them.
Yeah, because the graphics are looking cool. The teasing is going pretty well. Um, we're all excited, like you said, for the mobile versions, for the missions, the monsters. And yeah, they've been putting. I think they kind of even updated a little the lore of the game, right? Like you said, I haven't had a lot of whole time to be exactly up to date as far as like the readings, like the lore and all that. But I did give a quick read,
Yeah, it's a pretty
and
extensive read for the. I did a read through video for it. See if I can find. Sorry, I'm just looking for the Crypto.com post that they made to see if I can find the pictures of the two regions.
yeah, I was actually looking at a video you made, and I was able to only watch it like halfway before I had to like go.
Oh,
So I
okay.
definitely need to catch up on that video, especially because your commentaries are always great. So definitely anybody who's not subscribed to Arwing's channel, make sure you do go ahead and subscribe because there's a great commentaries breaking things down on this channel.
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, I tried to keep like what I did was just read through exactly what they posted for the actual video, right, and the product description. I find that's the best way to go about it. Here it is.
Yeah, reading straight from there, it's great because again, a lot of us we don't always not only not find the time, but not find the websites or the links and all that. So when you read the whole thing and then you give the opinions, it makes for great videos.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy them. Appreciate that. Second, I need to grab some water.
I really want to get these Pride records to the next quality 8, but it's time consuming. And not only that, people gotta please list your Pride records on the market. I need them all.
Yeah.
I need them
All
all.
right.
Oh, there's one at 1K. Make a bid.
All right. I did find. So I got a. You'll see it in the video. And now let me just see if I can. There we go. There's the second one. So these are the two different lands that are available. So this one you can see it's got like a big like dragon on it. So definitely looks sort of like more of a hellish. You got like these big obsidian columns, probably coming up to like a big throne or something. Who knows? But there's yes, a bunch of steps, stairs. This is the temple that they're talking about, and then this is the other problem. Also probably as a temple. Just get to this one. So it's probably more like the Loaded Lions Heaven Temple or something like that. It's all white and you can see a bunch of gold and whatnot on it. But yeah, they're looking pretty cool. So those are the two primordial lands. We'll have to see exactly what they look like. Hopefully, somebody, if they are lucky and mint them, will be showing off what the land looks like.
Yeah, you mean when we get lucky and mint them, we'll show what they look like?
Well, that's it. I'll get the white and gold primordial one. You can get the other one, being the Dark Lion, and then we both are able to set up raids and go do those.
There you go. Sounds like a plan to me.
Right on. So yeah, we're a little bit over half hour here. I think that's really pretty much what we wanted to say about the lands. We don't really have too much information yet. It's probably going to mint at the end of the month. So probably the 25th to the 31st, somewhere in that range. But you never know. It might mint right after Easter. I'm not too sure. That being the 20th. So 20th and 21st. So yeah, we'll have to see hopefully this week coming, we're going to get more information, you know, including it would be nice for them to also give us the mint date and different mint packages plus any rebates that loaded lines might be getting. And then, I mean, other than that, all we can do is speculate as to how the game's going to shape up, right? And I guess keep merging.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, as you guys know, Arwink and myself love to talk about the game. We love to talk about the speculation. So thank you guys. Always thank you for all the support. Any questions, go ahead and leave them there. Catch us on the X Spaces. And yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting times. As soon as we start getting more info, you guys know that we're definitely dropping another podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, we can get one done before the mint, with more of the information. I know we said we probably wouldn't be doing any in April, but I mean, this is just too much exciting news to not update the community on. So I'm glad you were able to find some time to sit down with me here, DJ Oracle. I appreciate your time and effort when it comes to helping me put these podcasts on. And, I appreciate everybody that does tune in and listen to just two passionate ManeCity players talking about ManeCity. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me. And, if you haven't already went and checked out DJ Oracle's channel, he does quite a bit. He's got more of the entertainment side, so check him out. He's also got some tutorials too, so well worth subscribing to.
Yeah, thank you for that, and thank you again for hosting, as always, keeping us on track. Yeah, I'm also glad that I was able to get some time in because I definitely love our talks when it comes to ManeCity, especially on the podcast because it's used you and I as opposed to like X spaces when it's the whole community, which is also great. I love it. But yeah, I love that podcast. I love chopping it up with you. So thank you for always having me.
Right on. No, it's always a pleasure, man. So, yeah, definitely hit the like and subscribe, guys. Reach out to us on X or on Discord or down in the comments below if you have any questions or if you just wanted to chat a bit. We'll try to get back to you as quick as possible with any of your questions or concerns. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll hopefully catch you in the next one. And hopefully it's sooner rather
Yeah.
than later.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.